So when you're voting for godly governance, it is first and foremost obedience. But the thing is, if you look through scripture, he's never asked you to obey anything which was not ultimately for your own good. He sees a future coming. He sees the plan of the enemy. Like my sister said, most governments are proxy governments. Somebody was asking a member of the ANC, Mara, you're a Christian. Why are you guys supporting this, what do they call it, based education, the sexual what that they're bringing, where children as young as 3 years old have to be sexualized and taught about their body parts. When they're 4, 5, 6, 7, they're told masturbation is okay. How can you bring that to us? And the response was, if we don't, I know I'm Christian, but if we don't, we will not get the UN funding. Why do we, one of the richest continents, the richest continent, have to be held at sway to get UN funding of monies that they took from here in the first place? Please don't think, this is really is the Church of Esther. We are in the Esther church where we have got to pick up the mindset of if I perish, I perish. For we've been brought into the kingdom for such a time as this. If we miss it now, it's over. And I was talking to a Jewish woman this weekend, and I said to her, she was talking about generational issues. I said, what are you doing to make sure it doesn't move to the next generation? She says, I won't be here. So she doesn't care because she won't be here. You who know Christ, you who are called, made in his image, who know what comes next. You don't have an end kind of perspective to your life because you know you live eternally. What are you leaving for the next generation? And I wish it could be as simple as it's just the next generation. No, it's not. It's here, it's now. Where gays, cross-dressers are currently, as we speak, sitting in churches. There's a church in Elders, I think it is, where they sit in the cross-dressed men, colored men, dressed as women, making all the gestures of a woman in praise and worship and dancing. We have them as part of the praise and worship teams. It's the norm. It's not coming, it's here. The power in voting in a godly government is that you put in place a voice that can speak for the majority. Right now, we don't have a voice that can speak for the majority. We're majority in mouth, but not in power. We're still being told what we can say, what we can't say. It's slowly coming. CRL wants to control what we can do, what we can't do. How do you have a CRL commission that is, they want to form a committee, and the committee is made of every single religion? How do you have a Buddhist telling me the right and proper way to preach my doctrine? What do you know? How can Hindu come and tell me what I can and cannot do? But we sit in our little churches and we, hashtag on Facebook, hands off my religion. No. You need to put an X, not a hashtag. You need to put it in the right place. You need to speak to everybody that you know to put it in the right place. Because what I promise you is, you see what Mordecai said to her, salvation will come from the Jews one way or the other. The Lord will save his remnant one way or the other. But I promise you, if you did not stand up at this time to say, if I perish, I perish, and he looks and he can't find you in the midst of those who put their X in the right place, who stood with the Esther generation, when what is coming comes, you cannot escape. You can't escape. It's coming swiftly, it's here, it's next door. And that's why God is in such a hurry like never before. These are the most important contested elections since 94. Nothing beats it. And people are coming in droves, waking up in dreams, saying, I was kind of undecided about who to vote for, but I went to bed, and in my sleep I had a dream, and the Lord said blah, 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 and I saw myself putting my ex next to a godly government. I woke up and I had peace. You had that man who was, told that he had voted for abortions all of this time. People are having encounters one by one. And we've been put in a place where we've been made to be ashamed to be Christian. People ask, if a godly government comes in place, they're not going to support other religions. I tell them it's not my business to support other religions. It's my business to support what is right from what is wrong. Many of these religions call Christ the greatest prophet there ever was, the greatest teacher there ever was. Let his principles guide the way we run the nation. Might not be biblical principles to you, but it's good, valuable principles that give everybody rights. When we speak about freedom of religion, to be honest with you, it's the freedom of our religion that we're fighting for like never before. We're about to be taken over. When you can tell my 3-year-old in school how to touch herself, and they're pedophiles who say it's legalized because they did research and they discovered that the children who were molested enjoyed it, and therefore we, the parents, are not allowing our children a full expression of their sexuality. How do you create a curriculum and the people who form the curriculum are pedophiles, known, convicted pedophiles? Then you call them and you say, come and let's reason together. What are your findings? And let's write them down. And let's take them to schools and teach our children. They have drag queens doing library time now in schools. We're in a time where it's a fight for the mind, a fight for what you can think. And what you can think is influenced by what you see and what has been created as the norm. Evil is being made to look like it's the norm. The Church of Jesus Christ has to rise up now and say, we're 80%. You have the right to be and do who you want to be and do, and that's okay. But we've come to a place now where you cannot tell the 80% that what has been written, what we've been brought up with in our Bibles is wrong to suit you. That's what we're fighting for. The ability to just be us. And unfortunately, we can't do it from outside. We need to be in the place where policies are made, where someone will stand up and say, my constituency demands the following.